Dihiwala Zoo is run by the Department of National Zoological Gardens, who state that it is visited by over 1.5 million people annually.
සත්වෝද්‍යානයක් මිනිසුන්ට අවශ්‍යයි කියලා හිතද්දී අධ්‍යාපනය කියන කාරණය ගැන ගොඩක් අය කතා කරනවා. නමුත් අපිට ඇත්තටම තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නය තමයි අපි සැබෑ අධ්‍යාපනයේ දරුවන්ට දෙන්නේ කියන්නේ. සතුන් සිර කරලා තියලා ඒ හරහා අපි පෙන්වන්න උත්සාහ කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? අපි ලබා දෙන්න උත්සාහ කරන අධ්‍යාපනය කොහොමද?
The Hagenbeck family established the Ceylon Zoological Gardens Company in the 1920s to trade and exhibit Sri Lankan specimens, enslaving both our animals and our people for profit. The British colonial government took over in 1936, keeping to their practice of using animals for hunting, trade and show. 80 years later, a barbaric colonial legacy continues. Next to the Zoological Department headquarters is its animal hospital. LT gained access to this medical facility. Through repeated visits, we found young animals, including lions and tigers, transiting through this restricted access area. And seemingly healthy animals are kept in very harsh conditions or left for dead in the corridors of the animal hospital. LT began to investigate behind the scenes. The Department of the National Zoological Gardens is the state authority that can exchange animals for research. The director of the zoo submits a request to the Department of Wildlife Conservation, and an unknown number of Sri Lankan animals can be legally traded every year. To be legally traded out of a country, an animal has to be born in captivity. Is captive breeding a legal excuse for trafficking? If animals can be so easily traded under the law, then what illegal activity can hide behind it?
ශ්‍රී ලංකා රේගු දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ වසර 27ක් සේවය කරලා මම පහුගිය වසරේ විශ්‍රාම ගියා. මේ රටින් බැහැරවන අපේ ජෛව සම්පත් විශේෂයෙන්ම සතුන් සහ පැලෑටි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කොටස් නිෂ්පාදන විවිධ ආකාරයෙන් මේ රටින් බැහැර කරපු අවස්ථාවල් ගණනාවක්ම අපි පහුගිය කාලේ අත්අඩංගුවට ගත්තා. ශ්‍රී ලංකාව පහුගිය කාලේ අවස්ථා කිහිපයකදීම ලෝක ජාවරම් කරෝ බඩු සංක්‍රමණය ස්ථානයක් හැටියට transshipment point එකක් හැටියට ලංකාව පාවිච්චි කරා.
The intention of the Fauna and Flora Protection Ordinance is very clearly set out. It's in the long title, that is to protect the animals and plants found in Sri Lanka, or the Sri Lankan fauna and the Sri Lankan fauna. Exotic species are not covered under this law because exotic species are not part of our natural ecosystem.
Tigers, lions, macaws and many other species fall under this definition of exotic.
අපි අතරංගුගත පක්ෂීන් රාජසන්තක කරලා සත්වෝද්‍යාන බාර දීලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් පස්සේ අපිට දැනගන්න ලැබුණා මේ පක්ෂීන් නැවතත් ජාවාරම් කරුට නොමිලේ ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා.
The Department of Zoological Gardens Sri Lanka appears to be a thriving business. Construction projects are widespread throughout the zoo premises. Is it profit from corruption that keeps this zoo and its officials in business? And now we've given the zoo department more zoos to manage, and we're calling them sanctuaries because that's a trendier word these days, behind which zoo business is flourishing. Ridyagama. Why are there holding cells in a supposed sanctuary so close to the shores of Hambantota where known animal traffickers operate? At Pinnavala Elephant Orphanage, elephant calves are disappearing and more elephants are dying of abuse. At the new Pinnavala Open Zoo, the Zoological Gardens Department plans to launch a small mammal breeding center. More animals supposedly born in captivity mean more animals to trade. Is this Sri Lanka's policy on captive animals? Successive national governments have either ignored or exploited a deteriorating problem, and today a horrific inheritance of animal abuse has been handed down to all of us. Elephants were once revered in Sri Lanka, yet even now we have not taught our children that in order to make an elephant perform, you first have to break the animal's spirit. In dismay, LT searched for Sri Lanka's true policy on animal welfare. Our journey took us to Mihintale, where in the 3rd century BC, King Devanam declared the area Abhaya Bhumi, a land without fear, where all sentient beings would be protected. Successive monarchs expanded the scope of our freedoms, allowing both nature and humanity to prosper without harm. From our ancient reservoirs that irrigate the crops to national parks and sanctuaries that protect our wildlife, these early decisions by responsible leaders still keep our country viable. Today, it is the government of Sri Lanka that has that same duty of care.
During my period, I also felt that we could have done much more, much better, and we organize ourselves, a plan, and if the government give the correct support, and if the proper leaders are appointed to head this organization, I think we would have done better.
As the Zoological Gardens Department has openly demonstrated, Sri Lanka does not have the competence or integrity to manage any zoo.